friends, it's Christy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making a card using Lawn Fawn's Butterfly Kisses stamp set. So I am stamping out my images with some VersaFine Onyx Black ink after treating my cardstock with an EK Success powder tool. And then I'm going to coat that ink with some clear embossing powder and heat set that. And I'm going to be coloring with my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers today. And by the way, the paper that I'm using is the Bristol Smooth Surface, which has that nice vellum coating, which just allows the ink to spread more fluidly on the surface before it dries into the cardstock. So I'm starting out with the number 023 Scarlet Red, and I'm going to use that for the majority of my fox. So I am just laying in some shadows with that marker, and I'm just working in small little sections because I don't want this ink to dry too quickly. Even though there is that vellum coating that helps, it still does dry into the cardstock, and I want to be able to move it around before that happens. So I'm just spreading that ink around and adding more water to lighten that up as I get towards my highlighted areas. And then I'll come in and color the rest of his body as well. So the only place that I put my marker is in the area that I want my shadows to be. And then I kind of pull that color up. I don't go all the way because right now there's still so much pigment that it wouldn't have much contrast. So then I always go back and dip in my brush a second time and spread that ink so that I have that nice highlighted area. Then I'm switching to number 060 Brown, and I'm going to go right over my shadowed areas. I'm not going to go up quite as far as I did with the Scarlet Red, but I just want to add a little bit of a brown tone into that orange because it was just a little too bright for me. It didn't look like a natural critter color. So adding that brown into the mix is just going to make it a little bit more neutral and a little more natural looking. So those embossed lines are going to hold the pigment within the lines for the most part, but if any time I get outside of the line, I just clean that up with a little clean, clear water and wipe it off on the paper towel that I have off to the side. For the shading on the white areas of the fox, I'm using number 067 Mustard, and I'm just adding a little bit sparingly to his cheek and tail and belly and ear. And then I'm going to blend that out with lots of water because I just want it to be really soft. I don't want it to look brown. I still want it to look white, but I just want it to be a more natural white, almost like a cream with a little bit of depth to it. So I'm going to blend all of that out, and then I'll also use the 067 Mustard and the 060 Brown to color in the butterfly net. I'll use 050 for the insides of the flowers, and I'm not going to even bother blending that since it's such a small area. And then I'll take number 042 Turquoise Green for the petals of the flowers. And I'm just adding a little bit of shading on the lower left and then moving that around onto the upper right so it has a nice highlight in that area. For the butterflies, I'm coloring them all the same. I'm using number 025 Pink, which is a really nice bright fuchsia color. So I'm adding the color closest to their bodies, and then I will add the water on the upper parts of their wings and kind of bring the two together so the pigment kind of expands into the area with the water. And then I'll just get a really nice subtle blend and some different patterns, which I think will be cool on the butterfly's wings. I'll use 091 Light Gray to add just a little bit of shading to the clouds, mostly on the bottom edge, and then a little bit to accentuate the curves. And then again, just using lots of water to blend that out because I just want it to be a subtle detail. And then I'll trim these out with the matching dies. For my background, I've got a piece of Bristol Smooth Surface that I trimmed out with the Lawn Fawn Stitch Journaling Card die. And I'm taking some more of that 042 Turquoise Green, scribbling it off on an acrylic block, and then picking that up with my paintbrush and some water and spreading that to create a sky. So I just wanted to have a more subtle looking background. So that is why I'm scribbling it off rather than putting it directly on the paper. It'll just make it a little bit more smooth and a little more subtle. But then I'm adding lots of layers to kind of build up that color, especially towards the bottom. I wanted it to be a little bit darker down there and then gradually fade as it goes up. And then I'm going to take 091 light green and I'll add that down at the bottom to make up the grass. And I'll just blend the transition back and forth a few times to make it more seamless. So once the background has dried, I'm ready to add my images. I'm starting with my fox since he's kind of the focal image. I want to make sure that I have him exactly where I want him, and then I can put everything else in relation to him. So I'm popping up most of my images with foam tape. The fox has some foam tape, and then the butterfly net has foam tape under the net, and then just regular glue on the handle. I really like the Lawn Fawn glue tube for skinny areas like that because it has a very fine nozzle. The two clouds I'm adhering flat to the card with that glue tube, and then all of my butterflies are also popped up with some foam tape. So I'm going to layer some of those butterflies over top of the clouds just to give them a little bit more movement and integrate them more into the scene. And then the rest of the butterflies I'm just going to have fluttering around in the sky and down towards the grassy area. So once I have everything in place, I'm going to add just 3 little dots of glue and set the tiny little blue flowers right over top of that. I find that's the easiest way to adhere them since they're so super small. So I'm just making sure I have everything spaced the way I want it. And then I can go ahead and pop this focal panel into my MISTI, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment. So I could have stamped my sentiment earlier, but I wanted to get the placement of it just right with all those butterflies. So I'm inking up the sentiment with love with some Lawn Fawn Deep Sea ink, and I just stamped that very carefully right around those butterflies. Then I'm going to pop my card base into my MISTI so that I can stamp on the inside. This time I'm using the plastic flamingo ink, and I'm stamping out the Mama Fox and Baby and the Happy Mother's Day sentiment from Mom and Me. My pattern papers are from the Echo Park Once Upon a Time pattern paper pack, and I just added a few different prints there. I have the floral as my base print. I have a purple polka dot that is going to be my contrasting print. Then I have a tone on tone, which is a little bit of a scripty text there. It's a gray, soft gray on white, so it acts as almost a neutral. And then I have this solid purple scallop, which is also a neutral. So these are going to work very well together. And if you guys are interested in more information on pattern paper mixing, I do have an entire playlist on my channel called Pattern Paper Play. And I can go ahead and link it in the cards right here if you're interested. But I often share tips on those videos of how I mix and match my pattern papers. So I've added some foam tape to the back of my focal panel, and I'm going to line it up just where I want it on the card and then press that down into place. And that is going to complete my card for today. There's another peek at the inside. I think if you made something like this, you could really make it for any occasion, whether it be Mother's Day or thinking of you or just a hello. So I'm really pleased with how this one turned out, and I had fun playing with my zigs again. It's been a while since I used them. So I thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to keep watching, here's 2 extra videos I thought you might also be interested in. You can also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would love to have your support. I hope you all have an amazing day. Bye-bye.